to OneMore. I'm your host, Brian Erickson. Each week, we bring in two new guests. We sit them down on Hendo's couch and we find out why they do what they do. And this week is no exception. We have musician and promoter Brittney on fire, and we have Philadelphia-based musician, singer-songwriter Nick Palmer joining us. But first, as always, Mr. Chris Dubrow.
How's it going?
My adult son.
Your largest adult son.
Yes, my largest of three.
Well, what I always say is I feel like when me and you are together, sans beard, it's like that movie Looper.
Yes.
They're just talking to each other. I've never seen it, but I reference it constantly.
How do you reference a movie you haven't seen?
Because
and that's a great movie,
I've
too.
heard, but for me, I just need the reference
Though
of
I
the
will
same
say,
person years apart.
Though I'll say I don't believe that Joseph Gordon-Levitt will age into Bruce Willis.
I've never bought that. Again, I have not
I've found as kind of an unbelievable part of them. That's the most a movie where people can pick things up with their mind.
Is that part of it?
It's like a real simple thing. Like Paul Dano is in the movie also. It's like a parlor trick. Like, hey, I can move this quarter with my mind.
I have to see this movie because
it's wonderful.
You've got my attention. You got
Ryan
Paul
Johnson.
Dano. Yeah, I know that. No, anytime I have to reference two people,
I love Paul Dano. Dano.
I think it's Dano, but I don't know. I've never met the guy. He's another person that I feel as though there's another universe where I am him. You know what I mean?
should have him on the show.
Why didn't we think of that earlier?
That would be the most awkward episode. Imagine the two of us and Paul Dano.
It would be a lot of limb, is what it would be. There'd be just so much,
a lot of appendages. We'd have to ask him about. We'd have to ask him about Looper, but I'd want to ask him about his turn as Brian Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that'd be the best thing to talk about.
There Will Be Blood.
That movie was good.
Love and Mercy?
Yeah, let's talk about movies from at least 3 years ago. I think that's a great way to grab our audience. Have you seen any movies recently?
Like in the theater?
Yeah.
The last movie I saw in the theater was Last Jedi. Speaking of Ryan Johnson.
So it's exclusively Ryan Johnson movies are all you
Well,
see
that'd be tough because he's only made 3.
Yeah. How do you do weird indie and then you do Looper and then you do Star Wars? I don't get that trajectory.
Well,
he's got some good agents.
He directed the Fly episode of Breaking Bad.
I know.
Also.
Oh yes, he did. He also did Ozymandias. Again, let's talk about a TV show that
ended several years ago. Yeah,
I am so terribly not up to date.
But no, he directed arguably the best 2 episodes of that entire series.
Yeah, I mean, I think that show was a good one for me. I like that one.
I think a lot of people share that sentiment. I think a lot of people like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's bring on.
You want to talk about The Wire too?
Oh,
while we're at it,
Wire.
Go back even 3 more years.
Yeah, then we're gonna talk about All in the Family.
Oh, good. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going back.
Here on OneMore with Brian Erickson.
Yeah.
I don't know. What'd you do? How was your weekend? How was your mom's birthday?
It was good. It was good.
It was the biggest event from last week. I think of all the
a lot of people
events.
came out. Yeah, we had a lot of people interested on Facebook, but people ended up coming out to it.
It was a stacked bill, I'll tell you. It was your mom, her birthday.
Yeah, I was there. Brian Erickson played a little bit too.
I've been wanting for years to have a band and call it my dad's band. Just so they play the Saint one time and the sound engineer goes ladies and gentlemen, now please welcome my dad's band.
That's excellent.
That's the stupidest. That's my dream. And if I could.
Oh wow! Can we do that?
You want to do it?
I can play an instrument.
Thing is, you would be but my father plays bass, so maybe I should get all the men who are my fathers.
But you're a bass player too.
Yeah, but I can.
So if you got your dad, and you're technically my large adult son.
Yeah.
Your dad and you play the bass, so your actual dad plays.
Let's just get 3 bass players.
So your actual dad plays
We're gonna figure this out.
All right,
okay?
On air.
Wait, hey Jesse.
So wait, your actual dad plays bass.
Yes.
Your TV dad plays the bass.
Your TV dad.
and you play the bass.
For all intents and purposes, we're all gonna play Daisy by Dave Mooney. Just get everyone playing it.
That'd be excellent. That's perfect. That's Spinal Tap-esque.
What's that? I always forget. It's from H-Wood. It's now listen to 4 people who've never played together explore the sonic soundscape. That's how we introduced my dad's band. So our guest this week is my dad's band.
Wow. I want to do that. Can we do? You got some pull at the Saint.
I've never been there, but I have some pull.
I hear it's
can't
got
wait to
good
check
time.
it out. We have to wrap up.
Yeah.
But I was going to tell a quick story about how our song we recorded yesterday, we have that line in it. And we had so many different things we wanted to do with that line that we had to cut and just leave it the joke about the Saint. And that was just about it. That was a quick joke that was not a joke.
Well,
Yeah,
I
one
can't
more.
wait. Well, when the song actually comes out, we're
We'll
gonna have
see.
to hear
Yeah,
it. But
hopefully.
I think it's time to introduce our first guest.
If you want to, man, it's your show.
I would like to. Well, it's becoming our show.
I'm taking over.
That's pretty much what's
I'm
going
gonna come in next week with red pants and a straw and beard.
Season 2. That's it. I'm out and you're in.
That's a new name.
But for now, let's welcome Brittney on Fire.
You like that, Scooch?
You guys are out of control.
Yeah,
Out of control.
that's what happens when two very sleepy men have to talk.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, B.
I'm really also tired, so hi.
Welcome to the program. How are you?
I'm tired as well, so we could be weird together.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a big nap at the end of the show. Just a big group
I
nap.
mean, we
They're
could
gonna
all
film it.
just go to
I
sleep.
mean, we have a couch.
Like there
We're
is a
set.
couch here, and I mean I can just kind of like lean back.
If you had
we
broken the
want.
chair, that would have been the best episode.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be our
Questionable.
Ozymandias.
That one was
So-
directed by Ryan Johnson.
Yeah. So a lot of people want to be musicians. Not a lot of people say, I want to be a promoter. So when did you realize that was something you wanted to do?
So I was trying to prove a point to my
That's always a good way to do it, like on a
jerk
bet.
off ex-manager. I wanted to be like helpful, and I was like, "Hey, I know bands. I can throw shows." And they were like, "Nah."
Where was
And I was-
this?
The Court Tavern.
Oh, okay, cool. We're gonna talk about that some more later.
So I was like, "No, but like really, like I know bands. I can throw shows." And they were like, "Nah." So I went like above their heads and like went to like the owner and was like, "Hey, I know bands. I can throw shows." And they were like, "Okay." And then I threw a show and 120 people came out, and it was great.
And I assume they had you
And
do
then
this
yeah,
again.
so then I started running an open mic. I started throwing shows every Thursday, and just like bartending. And then I just fell in love with it, like completely. I love bringing people together, giving bands a chance that normally wouldn't. Like I started kind of as like the promoter of the underdogs, all the people that couldn't get a gig at the Court Tavern. I was like, "Oh, I'll book you on a Thursday. How about that? Does that work? Well, we're gonna make it happen." And I don't know. That's I kind of like to represent the underdogs.
Well, let's talk about giving people opportunity. What's it like watching? You said you like to book underdogs, or you like to kind of champion the underdogs.
I like to create my little babies and turn them into flowers.
What's
from
it
seeds.
like watching somebody who may not have gotten a chance elsewhere flourish?
It's amazing. It's
Like,
so
what's that-
much
what's that
fun.
feel
Like Centennials, I gave them their first show, and like I'm so attached to
We
them.
had run it on just like a month ago too.
Yeah,
So
I'm so attached to them. Like having a band come through that's like trying their best but not there yet, and like being able to watch them get there and like get better and write better songs and like develop better stage presence is like the most. It's like having children. Like they're my babies. Like I don't know. I've become like a mother to like a lot of like the younger bands and like the bands that started very small, and like I'm just very proud of them, and I like am down to push them as hard as they could go or as far as they want to go with like music.
what? Which bands other than Centennials, obviously?
Well,
But
like
any you want to not? I mean, I'm sure the list is pretty big, but you want to kind of give me, I don't know,
Name drops?
like a small. Well, no, just a small handful. Like who? Because I mean, we interact with a lot of different bands and artists in the arts scene and stuff. But who kind of, who wasn't bringing people out when you were starting 4 or 5 years ago, and you gave them a couple shows and gave them that chance?
well, like one of my biggest like bands that like I just realized I did give their first show last night. What the fuck day is it? Sorry, am I allowed to say that?
Oh boy.
All right, well,
Whoops.
we have our first one.
Yeah,
You beat Renee
I knew
to
that
it.
was gonna happen to me.
That's all right.
Yeah, I was with Renee on Saturday night, and she was like, "Yeah, like you gave Lowlight our first show," and I was like, "I did give Lowlight your first show. Yes, that's amazing because you guys are amazing.
Yeah, and they're about to go on tour with the Pretenders
I know.
now.
They're so good.
So
And they're
Yeah,
so
no,
solid.
They're just about tops.
yeah,
That was but that wasn't at Court Tavern, right? That was at
No, that was at the Rail
The
House.
Rail House
Rest,
in Rahway.
R.I.P. in peace, the Rail House.
yeah, I know, right?
Rest in peace
Gone,
forever.
never forgotten.
But
Yeah, I mean,
I
you.
started booking her solo. And then she was in a project with just her drummer called C Post.
C Post, yeah.
And
Have you
then-
heard that album? Has
I've
anyone
not heard
that?
C Post.
Don't listen to them. It's fantastic. It's on Bandcamp. You can. It's still
I
around.
believe it. I
Yeah,
believe that
it's
there's like
excellent.
hidden projects that that Lowlight is ashamed
Well, it
of
was-
that must be magical.
Well, it was
They're-
like
it's
Baby
excellent.
Lowlight. It straight up was just Baby Lowlight.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember for a while there, my old folk band Rose Boulevard was playing the court like monthly when you were booking us, and like that's really like that's how we cut our teeth. Was like
Yeah.
every single month at least, like maybe even twice a month. Sometimes we were playing at that place in that basement. Like that's how I saw Fray Brigade for the first time. That's how I saw like
You guys were meant to be on a bill together.
Yeah, no, that was Rose. It was
That
like
needed
Rose
to
Boulevard, Lowlight, and Fray Brigade were like that was 3 bands that came up like together. Like they kind of formed their thing and.
I saw you guys, and then you guys did play together at the schoolhouse, at the Franklin Schoolhouse, didn't you? In
Well,
Metuchen?
Yeah, no, it was supposed to be a Fray Brigade's release show, but then they pushed the show back, and by the time this show actually happened, I think Rose Boulevard wasn't a thing anymore. Something like that. I don't know. There was a couple. I also was in and out of Rose Boulevard because I was in college at the time. Shout out
Well,
MSU.
Rose Boulevard started with the Rail House.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
it was just the two of them.
Well, it was It started off. It was originally 3 of us and 2. We're gonna
Oh,
let's talk about a band.
goodness.
Let's talk about a band.
Goodness.
I was in college.
Okay.
That's all. I was talking about a band that has been gone for like what 2 years now, maybe something like that.
It's been about a year.
Yeah, something like
hasn't
that.
it? So the Rail House, you start bringing bands up in and around
Yeah,
the Rail
so at the
House,
Rail
like a little,
House,
just
I had
this
a
little
lot of
like bar.
opportunities to grow bands because there was a lot less pressure than when I was like trying to prove myself my first round at the Court Tavern. So
And then,
what?
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
because
I
I
was
already
gonna say,
lost
and
it.
And then you parlayed that into a full-time position,
Yeah.
running the Court Tavern. Like they had closed, and then they were due to reopen. They needed somebody, and you were the one to kind of step back in.
Yeah. I learned a lot. So after I left the Court Tavern, I was throwing shows at the Rail House, the Saint, the Scarlet Pub, and like some random like
Couple
the Hamilton
basements here and
stage,
there, yeah, that
some
big theater,
basements.
yeah.
And I learned like what works in what venues, what doesn't work, what do I like that some people do, what do I not like that other people do. Like I will never be pay to play unless it was like the Hamilton stage was a show that like had to be pay to play. It was like a theater and like everybody knew the deal. Like
Well,
I
I don't
wasn't
think
trying
that's.
to.
I don't think a theater show is like a pay to play. I think it's
Well, or that
you're going to
wasn't
play
actually pay to play
a
either.
several hundred seat venue. You probably want people
You need
to
to
show
bring
up to
people
it.
out.
Yeah.
You need to bring more than your.
That
your
wasn't
10
though. I think I
friends.
paid all the bands regardless anyway.
Yeah, you
So,
did.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was a. Fun
That's like
night.
against my moral code. Like that's why like I don't want to be like a big deal promoter that's like working with AEG or like Live Nation. I just want to work with bands and help them and like
What do you think is the trouble with some of those bigger promotion companies, and why do you stay?
I don't think
away
they give
from
a
that?
shit anymore. Sorry, God.
That's okay. No, you're good.
I don't think they don't have like the heart and like that's why I do it because I straight up love it and like it makes me happy to make other people happy and to see them grow and give them opportunities. Like there was a band called The Rooftop that they were really successful while they were together. And they started with me at an open mic. They met each other at my open mic. They became a band. I gave them their first shows. They like packed the Court Tavern. And then they started playing like festivals and like big deal stuff. And like I got a text at like 1 a.m. one day from Sean, the lead singer.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I just want you to know that like none of this would have happened without you. And like you gave me a chance. And like I'm so happy. And like thank you. And I was like very like cry at 1 o'clock in the morning, like because I answer my phone at 1 o'clock in the morning if it goes off. And I was like, this is what it's about. Like this is why I do what I do. And like when it's really hard and I'm like crying because I'm a train wreck because a show didn't go well or someone was being a dick to me, like I just think about the people that actually like I actually helped people, and like not a lot of people can say they like really helped people in their life.
So is that still like a net positive then? Because
yeah.
when you took over the Court Tavern as the general manager, you got a lot of pushback.
Oh yeah, I was getting
and I
death
mean,
threat emails and
yeah.
all sorts of stuff.
And I was going to ask, what when you're on the receiving end of things like that, what's going through your mind? Like you're given this opportunity that to quote you called it a dream job.
Mm-hmm. It was.
And, you're getting to open this kind of legendary place, reopen this legendary place and kind of remake it in your image and the image of this local scene that you are trying to kind of help bring up. And you're kind of receiving these threats and kind of these like nasty correspondence and stuff. What's that like? What's going through your head as you're going, as you're shuffling through this stuff, trying to reopen this place and foster some kind of positive environment?
It's rough. It's rough because I have like really low self-esteem and like I try really hard to like make everybody happy. So when people are like angry at me that don't even know me or like why I do what I do, it's rough. Like I cry a lot. I lost a lot of sleep crying and like just being upset and being anxious. But the thrill of doing what I do, every show that like went well, that like we created magic. Like there were so many shows that were like magical, like the Star Wars show where you guys played that Weird Al song.
Oh yeah.
That show was like magical.
That's a legendary moment. It's
like,
an interesting thing. I feel like there is this deeper narrative around the music scene surrounding the Court Tavern than I think any other place in Jersey, and I just wonder where that comes from. And like without, it's like hard because you can't like name drop, but like there is such a weird like. There's so much more going on there that doesn't really happen anywhere else.
Well, I think because the Court Tavern has sort of gotten passed between generations. Mm-hmm. Like you get people who are, say 10 years older than me, right? And they say, well, I was there when, I don't know, when like Pavement came through. And then you had someone who's my age that's like, oh, well, I was there when Gaslight came through. And then, someone who's like younger, I don't know what the kids listen to these days.
I would love to find out and start playing that kind of music.
But no, in all seriousness, though, I think because the Court Tavern has managed to survive where like the Roxy and the Melody Bar and all those other places just, it's like knocking pins down one after another. And for some reason, the Court just stays and it's still there. And I think that's why. Mm-hmm. I think because it gets passed from one sort of generation to the next. It's like a musical heirloom.
There's always going to be the people who are like, it was better in the old days.
And there's always going to be the people who say, oh, well, it was better when I was there. And I think when you left, almost, right about a year ago, I think the people that you ended that, like, whoever is going to take it next, that's going to be their turn, and then the people who were there with you are going to be like, oh, well, it was better when Brittney was there. Like, that's going to happen. You've become part of that narrative.
Agree with, because like,
but whether or not you agree with it is almost like it doesn't matter. Respectfully, I almost feel like that, because it doesn't. Not that it doesn't matter what we think, but that's just what's going to happen, because it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the people who experienced it. Yeah. So your time there, 2015, your time there, 2015 to, kind of early 2017, that's going to be some person or some group of people's version of the Court Tavern, and they're not going to go back because they're going to choose to kind of remember it that way. And how do you feel? No, but
that was succinct. I like that.
But how does it feel to kind of know that that's, that you're part of that lineage, which in terms of New Jersey and in terms of this, art scene is an important narrative.
Well, it was always an honor to like be put in charge of the Court Tavern. Like it was, legendary. The place is legendary. Like you can't deny it. So, like it was always an honor, and like I had to step down when I stepped down for various reasons. I'm really glad it's still standing, but it's cool to have like a piece of like history like just frozen there. Like it's pretty cool. But like, yeah, I'm back now, and I'm throwing shows other places.
Well, what are some of the biggest differences now that you're back? You know, you kind of took a little bit of a sabbatical for a while. I'd love to get into it more, but we only have about 2 minutes. What are the biggest differences you notice now, as opposed to when you started, 4 or 5 years ago, doing this regularly?
Oh. Well, now I have a reputation. So, like, now when I'm looking for venues, I'm trying to find venues that have, like, quality sound because I work with quality bands. And, like, I have a set of standards. Like, it's not like, yeah, I just want to, like, throw a show to prove myself that, like, people will come out and it's going to be fun. It's like, no, like, my shows, there's going to be people. It's going to be magical. It's going to be quality sound. Like, it's going to be solid in every way, shape, and form. Like, there's no room for error anymore. There's no room for like just messing around and experimenting. I have to like nail it every time.
What do you get from all this?
Oh God, what crazy
Last question.
questions. What do I get?
Yeah. What do you get
so
when
like,
you go home from a show?
I'm not a happy person, but some of my happiest moments. No, this is a legit thing. Like, if you know me on Facebook, you see, like, if I have a show, like, the Winter Formal, I, like, posted that thing after. I was like, this is why I do what I do, because that's how I feel after. I'm so, like, stoked and, like, happy, and, like, that's, like, as high as the happy meter gets for me, is, like, a magical show. So maybe that's why I do it. Like, I'm living for this moment.
Well, I think that's admirable, because I think few people risk living for something they're so passionate about. And that takes courage.
Thanks.
And, that's something that not a lot of other promoters can lay claim to, I think, if I may venture my own opinion.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming, B.
Of course.
Brittney Dixon, everybody.
Rochelle, please. One more Brian Erickson is brought to you, ladies and gentlemen, Rochelle, our pizza delivery girl. That was actually amazing.
Wow, she's got really good balance.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. So it's Caprice. Where'd you get those? Anyway, Mr. Pizza Slice in Red Bank, a Red Bank institution with a new vibe. For over 45 years, Steve operated Mr. Pizza Slice on Mum Street in Red Bank. The new owners have 100% kept the original pizza called Steve's Original Pie, as well as the signature Italian hot dogs, of course, my nickname for Brian, and French fries, Brian's nickname for me. Don't ask. New additions include pizza with various toppings, including giant basil leaves that can be ordered by the slice, hot and cold sandwiches, and smaller appetizer dishes, my nickname for Rochelle. We have kept a lot of Steve's feeling here and the classic video game machines and added delivery service, longer hours, and Sunday hours. Mr. Pizza Slice. It's pizza by the slice. It's not their slogan. Brian!
Ladies and gentlemen, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, please welcome Nick Palmer.
Hey, man. Normally I leave after we get the pizza slice. I'm just going to hold it for the rest of the interview. Do you want it?
You're telling me that delicious pizza I had also has video games in the establishment?
Why, yes, it does.
Well,
I
Mr.
think we
Pizza
know what
Slice.
we're doing after this. I think I know what we're doing after the show.
I have to go to band practice.
Well, I know what we're doing without you.
How close do I need? Do
After
I need
the
to take
show.
this with me if I lean back?
Nah, you're all right. I mean, you're
I'm going to now that I asked.
Yeah, go for it. Hey,
Very
man,
important that you stare directly at
you
the
do
mic the whole
you.
time.
Right into the little diaphragm.
All right.
Of the microphone.
I use my diaphragm
Yes.
right into the diaphragm.
Exactly. So you are. Now, I guess, can I say that you are late of the band The Danger O's? Or
No,
are they
you
just kind
can't.
of on hiatus? Or what's...
We're just not making music right now.
Okay, but now...
Oh, already my Philadelphia accent just came out. Did you hear that?
No,
We're just not making music right now.
well, I have to get you to say, like, water or
Oh, I say
hoagie
water.
or something like that.
All right, listen.
That's...
No, let's attack him. Let's get these colloquialisms figured out.
Well, I mean, also congratulations on your Super Bowl victory.
Oh, yeah.
On behalf of
I'll tell you what, I've never watched a
behalf of
football
the
game
city.
from start to finish until last Sunday.
Wow, really?
I wasn't even planning on it.
It was actually
You
like
also
a pretty.
never contributed to the burning down of a town until last week.
Hey, you know what? There were more arrests and injuries in Boston, so
That makes sense. Philadelphia, though. Philadelphia was like America's first city.
that's right. Yeah.
So-
well, I don't know if that's true, but it was
why
the
the roads are
capital
so
of America.
terrible.
It was
Well,
America's
I-
first capital.
Okay,
the
yeah,
capital of
like
America.
somewhere in Virginia was probably America's first city.
Yeah, probably.
Like
Or
Yorktown
Massachusetts.
or something, or Jamestown.
Can we get our research assistant on that?
Yeah,
What was the
we
first
really
town in
need.
America?
Well, I think it was like wasn't
The
it
white
Jamestown?
America, not the Native Americans.
Yeah, the first European settlement.
There you go.
I
There we
guess
go.
Is what, but anyway.
But yeah, so I was sitting on my couch, a little red and squinty in the eyes, and I'm like, I wonder what's on TV right now. and
on
and
Super Bowl Sunday.
And I turn it on. I'm like, oh, the Super Bowl. Hey, Philly's in that. I'll watch it. And it was a very entertaining football game.
Yeah.
I have to say, I've never watched a football game in my life, but I was like, touchdown! Like I knew when touchdowns happened.
Excellent.
I'm gonna say it's kind of obvious when it happens.
Right.
Like it's one of the
You-
most.
but you know what?
obvious
I also knew when there was a lot of yards and it was third down. I was like,
ones. That's intense.
like I caught
Yeah,
on, you know?
Yeah, it was kind of a cinematic game.
Yeah.
It was nerve-wracking, and it didn't quite come down to like the last second, but it
No,
was,
not quite. But
they made that, Brady made that heave at the end of the game, as he has done in the other Super Bowls that he has lost, courtesy
Brady.
of my New York Giants.
well, I decided I cared for three reasons. Because number one, Philadelphia.
Okay.
Right, obviously. Number two, they were the underdogs, and I, like Brittney, love the underdogs in any sort of competition or setup or life situation. And then number three, when the Phillies won the World Series in 2008,
yeah.
Obama went on to win the White House that year, and we got midterms coming up, baby.
All
so
right,
I was rooting for
so
Philadelphia
maybe,
to win a big sports
Philadelphia,
thing.
and then let's get some midterms. Let's flip that house, shall we? So, I want to talk to you about prolificacy. You've released music every single year since 2008.
Yes.
You feel any pressure at this point to keep doing that?
I feel pressure to make money to buy more studio time because I got a dozen written that I can't afford to record right now.
Okay, because I guess that would have been my follow-up question is so how, so you feel pressure to make money, so how do you make money playing music? Like tell
Not
all
easily.
of us, tell your fellow musicians, I'm not sure what camera we're in right now, but tell your fellow musicians how to do it.
I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. We're trying to make sure people come to shows so we can draw from the door. We're selling some EP zines, and we made some T-shirts. We're hoping to.
Let's.
Hey, look.
Yeah, we have it. Which can we get a close-up on this actually?
I'm hearing yes.
Yeah, I think Can we get a close-up on this one?
That pause was eternal on this side.
Oh my god. That's. We got it.
This is a long close-up.
Wow. All right. So
A family of crickets moved in behind the
If we
couch.
haven't gotten it yet, then
We're never gonna get
we're
it.
never gonna.
You're on one more with Brian.
This is something. I have not
It is
seen
something.
like this is not. There's no piece.
That's not a vinyl, baby.
There's no vinyl in here. There's no CD. This is a zine, and it has.
It's got a download
in the
code.
back. It's got a download.
It's the past
Yeah.
and the future, just not the present.
And it's like I can't get over. Take a look at this, like Chris. Like, no, I like it. I feel like it's a really imaginative way to, as you said, kind of bring the physical ownership, like the feel. People
we
like
wanted
to go
to have
to a
a
show.
thing.
They want to own
Yeah.
this music. But they don't want to like throw a CD on in the car because
Yeah.
that's not going to do
New
anything.
cars, do they make CD players in cars anymore?
Some
I'm driving
of
an 08. It's got a CD player, but
Yeah, I drive like a 15. It still has a CD
still has one
player,
from
yeah.
15. Okay.
But what gave you the obviously very punk rock, the zine?
Well, yeah. So yes, punk gave me the idea. My first Warped Tour when I was 15 years old in 1997.
Okay.
Does that math that up? Yes. I don't know. Who cares? It's close. It's
Okay.
real close. What's 82 minus 97?
Wow.
Is it negative 15?
I know. Yeah, 82. Yeah, it's negative something.
Okay.
But that's all right. Our resident,
assistant. Can we get?
our Chris,
Hey,
our
those people
resident
that were on the Zoom, can you give me
mathematician.
an answer to a math question in half an hour?
Resident mathematician who went to school for acting.
Yeah.
Taking that back. Thank you.
But at my first Warped Tour, somebody came up and handed me a few pieces of folded up paper together, and it was all about like feminism and gay rights and stuff. And in 1997, that kind of like blew my little 15-year-old mind, and I was like, well, yeah, I'm a feminist now. Yes, gay people should be treated equally. And it was like that was like a thing that sort of pushed me leftward and pushed me into further into the punk rock world, because that was kind of my first big show. And then I started going to local shows after that. I really fell in love with like live music at that festival, and with the whole idea of like culture and do it yourself, just putting a zine together to try and change people's minds is very inspiring.
And I mean, you have some of that in here too. Like,
Yeah,
you
I mean, it's a
have-
tribute to that stranger that gave me that zine that I lost track of a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, you have, like Run for Something,
Mm-hmm.
She Should Run, Emerge America, and Victory Fund, like all sorts of different, I know Run for Something is trying to get young people to run for office,
Mm-hmm.
and Victory Fund is, it says, works to increase the number of openly LGBTQ officials at any level of government.
Yeah, important stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel a sort of, I don't want to call it an obligation, but do you feel like a passion to, like, through your music, through this, packaging, through your art, to convey that type of message? Like, did you feel like when you were given that zine when you were 15, like
Right.
this was something that somebody was passing it to you? Did you feel a responsibility?
Like they felt strongly enough to like put their ideas on paper and pass them out to people that, like that was their passion, and that was inspiring to me, that they just did it and didn't wait for permission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, I just write what's on my mind. So for a while I wasn't writing super political stuff, because like got kind of easy to be an American. Well, got kind of easy to be like a white male American for a few years there, and like feel good about how things were going.
Mm-hmm.
And then privileged people like me kind of got like a kick in the ass with the last election. And so I didn't set out to write music about that stuff, but as I was just writing from my subconscious, like that's what was coming out. Okay. And so I thought, if I, as this privileged white man, am going to be like singing these things, I want to make sure that it doesn't stop there. Like there needs to be a whole package of sort of like, not just changing minds, but more specifically, like hopefully motivating people. It's not just about like men yelling in bands, but it's like everybody get involved and everybody do whatever it is that you do. Hopefully I can encourage that. So
is that what prompted the change? Because now the Dangeros were a four-piece band, pardon me, three of whom are now members of Waxwave. You were the drummer, vocalist, and the vocalist, guitarist of the Dangeros. You two switched places. Now he's your drummer,
Yes.
you're the singer and guitarist. Now, did these political motives
no,
prompt the change?
no, the Dangeros decided to take a break in October of 2016.
Okay.
So I was actually, I mean, the first few songs I wrote for Waxwave happened in like October, and they're sort of not, they're not super political songs. It wasn't really, well, honestly, no, so there's a song on there called Empathy.
I was going to say, do we want to reference?
So the song called Empathy I wrote before the election, and it's sort of just about like general sort of life anxieties and things like that. And I didn't send the demo of it to my band until after the election. And the guitar player came back. He was like, "Wow, this is what you're writing about now." I was like, "Oh, no, but yeah." So I guess it can be taken both ways.
Now, you play around Philadelphia, and formerly with the Dangeros, you played at a couple big places. You actually ended up playing Warped Tour,
Oh,
if
yeah.
I understand correctly.
We did
right?
play.
And you-
We played Warped Tour, and we went down and played South by Southwest one year.
Yeah, and Trocadero, which is one of the better places for any band to play.
Yeah, it's a
there.
good place.
And now, you kind of start over. Do you feel at all? Do you feel ever at all overwhelmed? Kind of just trying to get your music back out there, get your message back out there, because you're in this band that is beginning to establish itself, beginning to play some bigger and more important places for close to a decade, and then 2 years ago you guys just say, you know what, we're gonna do this now.
Yeah.
What's that like to start again?
We
try
did the
and
Danger
fight?
O's for a decade. That's a long time to still, to say like, we played Warped Tour once, and we went down to South by one year, and one time we played the Trocadero.
I mean, it looks good. Like the
It
rap
look-
sheet looks good.
Yeah, yeah. In hindsight, it's good. At the time, it's easy to feel like it's plateauing, and that like that feeds into the creativity side. I was feeling a little bit less inspired to write because I was getting into sort of what's the point ism.
Yeah.
Right. So a fresh start is just exciting more than anything else. I'm not super overwhelmed. We were able to play pretty regular shows through our whole first year before we had a demo. So now that we have this out, some people seem to think it's all right, and we're getting some more shows from that. So no, it's just exciting.
Yeah, you've gotten some pretty good coverage for this so far. Like, what's that like to feel? When you put something like this out and essentially rebrand yourself as this new project, what's that feel like to be validated, to have that work after 3 you guys have been together for a decade?
Yeah.
What's that like to say we're going to do this new thing, and people react pretty immediately to it?
It's kind of what you want.
Well, yeah, of course.
It's not bad.
Right?
These are all accurate answers.
Yeah, correct.
Well, it's good.
It's good. I like it. The write-ups were nice to read. I did. I was my own publicist, so I sent like 100 emails out, and the 7 or 8 people that responded to the email seemed to like what they heard, and so we got 7 or 8 really nice write-ups, and that was good.
What's that part like, being your own publicist? What is that? Because you just said you send out 100 emails, you're lucky you get 7 or 8 people that that write back. What keeps you motivated?
I don't know. What keeps me motivated? I mean, you don't make music for nobody. The same reason that you put flyers up, around town to get people to come to shows. This is the show of what we did in the recording studio. So the flyers around town equals email a bunch of people. It's just what you have to do. And we are a DIY organization, so it's got to be done in-house. No one else is doing it for us.
What constitutes a win for this band at this stage in its career, or in this stage of its development? Because clearly, this is called EP1. Clearly, there's a plan.
Yeah.
Here. So what's a win right now for you guys?
People showing up at performances. That's a win. Are we going bare minimum or like?
Well, I mean, what
I'd like people to show up.
What makes you, like how to kind of piggyback off like a point Brittney made, when she books a show and all these people show up and, she goes to sleep at night and she's like, yeah, this is why I do it.
Yeah.
What's the win? What makes you go home at the end of the night and say, yeah, this is why I do this?
Yeah. I think it's the empathy is a big theme. I think I say the word empathy in 2 of the songs on here, and one of them is called that. The idea that people will relate to it, because I've been a fan of music for longer than I've been a musician. So, at different points in your life, you hear a song and you're like, yeah, me too. And that's, that always feels good as a listener. So, so hopefully, if somebody hears a song or sees us play a song and they're like, yeah, that guy gets it, that's a win.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much
Thanks for having
being
me.
here.
Oh, shaking hands.
Yeah, hey, why not, right? All right, Chris, take it away.
One More with Brian Erickson is brought to you live from Mammoth Music in Red Bank. Established in 1987, Mammoth Music is located at the center of historic Red Bank, New Jersey, voted third best town in the United States by the Smithsonian Magazine. Brian, do you remember what number 1 is? No. Stanton, Virginia. Check it out. We're located within walking distance of the famed Count Basie Theater, Red Bank train station, and many fine eateries, including Mr. Pizza Slice. Where's my pizza slice? Mammoth Music continues the tradition of being a destination store for all levels of musicians, both beginner and professional, and also guys who don't know how to finish a sentence, such as myself. New owners, Mario DiPartolo, a lifelong musician, offers a wide selection of brand name instruments at everyday low prices, both new and used, with personal, professional, and expert service only a family-owned and operated store can provide. Brian, does the neck on your guitar need repairing? That's a yes. Jess, how's the neck on your banjo doing? That's a yes. If you need it, does the valves in your saxophone need to be refitted? I don't know what that means. Regardless of what day it is, bring your instrument to Mammoth Music for quality repairs. You'll enjoy prompt service from a team of repairmen who are always available. Musical guest.
This is the modern Western world. We got modern medicine. We don't need those institutions built on fear of sin. Years removed from our first time high, we got nothing left to lose. No one ever walked on you, but still your back is bruised. Step inside your mind to hide from all this tragedy. 'Cause I can't find the words to calm your deep anxiety. Are we done? I can read your mind. This is a fucking police state. I can't turn my eyes away, but I gotta get home. I've been sleeping alone in my car for days. Billboards pass in the nighttime sky. I'm getting back further east, but I'm in my head and I'm up in arms and I'm on my knees. Step inside your mind to hide from all this tragedy. 'Cause I can't find the words to calm your deep anxieties. Are we done? I can read your mind. Are we done? I can read your mind. Working hard while I fantasize about a free ride. Gotta get down out of the mountains to the seaside. Yeah, we need a UBI. Are we done? I can read your mind. Are we done? I can read your mind. Are we trying to find a bunker to hide from the atomic fallout with a line to call out? Trying to find a bunker to hide from the atomic fallout. Are we done? I can read your mind. Are we done? I can read your mind. Are we done? I can read your mind.
That was actually fantastic. You like the way you finger the guitar is like violent. I'm worried you're gonna rip the neck in half. Anyway, this week in events on Tuesday, February 13th, Brittney on Fire.
And the dudes who brought us Local Legends Festivals are hosting a new and improved Sessions Open Mic at Meatballs and Brews in Rahway. Sign-ups are at 8 p.m. There's meatballs and brews. What more do you need? Brittney?
Also Steve Burks will be performing at 10, which is cool. He was here the third week?
Sure, definitely.
Okay. Brian Erickson, hey.
Hi,
That's you.
That's me.
It's that one. It's my father. Hey, Dad.
Hey.
Performing at Wayward Social with Catch Me If You Can, Anthony Carrera in Brooklyn.
The Chubby Pickle open mic on Tuesday. That begins at 9. It's in the Highlands. Cranston Dean hosts it. There's alcohol.
Yes, alcohol.
That's
This is a really good one.
that's the slogan. It's a shrug and then someone going, "There's alcohol." Ask Cran. Wednesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Brittney?
Shred Flintstone and Good Luck Spaceman are going to be at the Asbury Park Brewery at 7.
Megan O'Shea presents an anti-Valentine's Day songwriting challenge at the Asbury Hotel, featuring my brother, Matthew Brow, my brother from another mother, Danny Puma, Catherine Quintana, Ashley McKinley, and Matt Fernicola. Show starts at 8 p.m. I'll be there at 9 with my girlfriend eating burritos. Thursday, February 15th.
Acoustic Throwdown, episode 3 goes down at John and Peters in New Hope, featuring this week's guest, Nick Palmer, who just killed it, along with Dan Drago, Joey Henderson, whose couch we use all the time.
Shout out to Hendo's couch.
Mark Brunetti of Puppy Grease, Corey and Cara, and Brian Molnar. Doors at 8, doors at 7, music at 8.
Thursday, the Inkwell open mic at the legendary Inkwell, the fucking Inkwell in Long Branch, New Jersey. Oh, yeah, I mean, we started it. Hosted by Matt Fernicola and Avery Mandeville.
Sorry.
It's the Inkwell. What are you going to do? Friday, February 16th. What do you got, Brittney?
I'm throwing a really, really awesome stripped and acoustic show at the Asbury Hotel featuring Quentin Smith and the Company, Siobhan and the Fuzz. I'll be playing an acoustic set with my guitarist for Finding Phoebus and my good friend Dano. It starts at 8, and it's free and all ages, which I'm really excited about doing an all ages show.
Finally. A-Bird, who was our guest last week, I think. Jet Brando and Hermano Stereo are playing the Strange Bird EP release party at the Clash Bar at 9 p.m.
Cranston Dean Band is going to be at the Chubby Pickle with the Burns and the Mercury Brothers on Friday.
I'm going to be... I think I'm in the Burns.
Chris in the Burns?
Sometimes I'm in the Burns. No, I'm in the Burns. My man band. John Cos is at the Stosh in Fairlawn at 9 p.m. Saturday, February 17th. There's a lot of them. Let's do these.
All right. Emily Grove and James McCaffrey at the Asbury Hotel from 9 to midnight.
The Battery Electric hits the Stone Pony with the Van Saders. Strange Eclipse, Little Vicious, Hail the Witch Queen, and Low Light! Doors at 7 p.m. Seriously, like, you don't want to miss that one.
crazy.
But also...
Kate Dress Up performs at Ortlieb's in Philadelphia at 8 p.m. with Brother Martin and Dominic.
Ceramic Animal joins Dr. Danny and 16 Jackies at World Cafe Live in Philadelphia at 8 p.m.
Red Pants presents another New Hope takeover at John and Peters. Rachel Action kicks things off, followed by Dave Mooney and the Aztec Gypsy, and the Mercury Brothers starts at 8.
Sunshine Spaz, Shapeshifters, The Idea Men, and Less Dangers are playing at the Asbury Park Brewery at 7 p.m. Sunday, February 18th.
The Asbury Park Brewery hosts Rats in the Wall, All Torn Up, Coward, and Bucket I Quit at 7 p.m.
Is that the name of the band or just a declaration?
No, Brittney just quit.
Okay, it happened. Also on Sunday, February 18th, Afraid Brigade, my favorite band, Jeff Lynne, the Black Spot Society, and Brewsters are at Scarlet Pub at 8 p.m. I think I'm playing that show with Jeff. I gotta send him a text. All right, one more song, Nick, please. Save us!
Great job, you guys. Did you see her there at the march? Did you follow me here? Are you working? Got a fun to fight? Did you hear the words of the chants? Did you open your heart? Can you feel my fear that we'll lose the light? We're alright, but I feel we're standing still in the crosshairs from the treetops, and now we're under attack. Generation gap, and they're taking it back. Generation gap. When they took your name down, rearranged your face, you were strong and you were feminine, you were shining bright. And we smiled so smug when you ripped that sign off the pole. Then they knocked the wind right out of us. Later that night, we're alright, but a few were standing still in the crosshairs from the treetops. And now we're under attack. Generation gap. And they're taking it back. Generation gap. Normalized white riots as if we ever had mass appeal. Got a history, want a clean slate. Under pressure, got a lot on our plates. Taking time, wasting my time. Draw the line, crossing the line. Now I need your love more than ever. Will you watch me wake up? I'm trying not to lose sight. We're all right.
Good job, man.
Thank you.
Wow,
Thanks.
Nick Palmer. Oh, Nick Palmer, Brittney on Fire, Chris Dubrow. From everyone here at Monmouth Music, I have been, and I remain Brian Erickson. We'll see you next week. Have a good night.